When George Osborne became Chancellor, he made paying down the deficit an article of faith. So it's an embarrassment, to say the least, to have to admit, as he did today, that it's clearly taking longer to deal with Britain's debts. There's plenty of speculation the Chancellor will be unable to meet two targets on paying down the debt and the deficit. But he still insists it would be a complete catastrophe to change course now. Our economics editor, Faisal Islam, reports.
This Wednesday, a moment of reckoning for the Chancellor. The halfway point for the twin targets he set himself in his 5-year plan to rein in Britain's borrowing. But today he comes as close as he ever has to saying he'll miss his own target to have a declining national debt and have to extend again the 5-year plan to eliminate the underlying deficit.
We had two targets. One was to get debt share falling as a share national income by 2015-16, and also to balance the current budget. It's clearly taking longer to deal with Britain's debts. It's clearly taking longer to recover from the financial crisis than anyone would have hoped. But we've made real progress. The deficit is down by a quarter. There are 1 million more jobs in the private sector. And to turn back now, to go back to the borrowing and the debt and the spending that Ed Balls represents, would be a complete disaster.
The Chancellor today did confirm that there would be no so-called mansion tax pushed by the Lib Dems. The Conservatives fear it would punish voters with pricey property in the south of England. But the government wants to send a message that further austerity will be shared by rich and poor alike. Whether you're on an estate or own an estate, George Osborne's message has been we're all in this together. But now that he faces missing at least one of his fiscal targets, it's more a case of we're in this together for longer. And that means real cuts to benefits on Wednesday, but also cuts to the tax relief for wealthy pensioners. So to get back on target, the Chancellor will have in his sights a freeze on benefits, a cut in real terms, and a pensions relief cut, which together could raise billions. But he's likely to have to effectively spend more money too, by freezing fuel duty instead of raising it as planned in January. The fuel duty freeze will be a nod to the ongoing squeeze in everyday living standards from rising energy prices. The Consumers Association today warning about the impact on ordinary Britons.
Around 10% of people are defaulting on loan and bill payments. Many millions more are struggling to get by, borrowing from friends and family, dipping into savings just to afford the cost of everyday essentials. So next Wednesday, we want to see the government putting consumers at the heart of any economic recovery plans.
Lights still on at the Treasury. The last budget was a disaster. This one might see Britain's top AAA rating lost. Now, it may just have been a slip of the tongue, but the Chancellor was referring to his fiscal targets in the past tense today, not where he would have wanted to be exactly halfway through this coalition government's tenure. He has to deliver a concrete plan for growth on Wednesday, not least because the numbers on the economy and on borrowing will be going in the wrong direction. Faisal Islam, Channel 4 News at the Treasury.